Imagine being born into an upper-class, privileged home, yet you were neglected and ignored by your parents. You got knocked down. You hated school and failed your exams multiple times. You got knocked down. To make matters worse, you developed a stutter and a lisp. You got knocked down. How could you possibly succeed? But this young man had a relentless passion. And what could have broken many people made Leonard Spencer. When he got knocked down, he got back up and never gave in. His early life would give him a tenacious determination to battle against the odds. Leonard Spencer's life, as tough as it was, can teach us to persevere, overcome difficulties, and impact the world. The miseries of his early years would prepare him to later inspire others to their greatest moments. The information is from the book written about Leonard Spencer by John B. Severance, unless otherwise stated. Like Leonard, I was born at home in London, England, which may sound interesting, but for Leonard, his birth was far more interesting. Author Brenda Hodgson describes how his American mother, Jenny Jerome, decided to attend a ball with her two-date just weeks away. While there, she felt faint and went away to a coat room to recover, but instead gave birth to her first son, Leonard Spencer, on November 30th, 1874, at Blenheim Palace, England. Leonard Spencer spent most of his childhood being ignored by his parents. His father, Lord Randolph, was a prominent politician, but like his wife, brushed off his son with aloof indifference. One of the greatest hardships of Leonard's life was his father regarding him as stupid and as a failure. Leonard Spencer got knocked down. Education was extremely trying for Leonard. When his nanny, Mrs. Everest, was attempting to prepare him for school, the stubborn young boy would hide outside in the bushes. Leonard later recalled, rather amusingly, in his book My Early Life, saying, "Mrs. Everest produced a book called Reading Without Tears. It certainly did not justify its title in my case." Leonard hated absolutely everything to do with school, and was poor at all aspects of it. At the age of 7, the already struggling student was packed up to an expensive, strict, and fashionable boarding school. If he got something wrong, he would be flogged until he bled. He sent letters weekly to his parents, but would rarely receive a reply. He spoke with a stutter and a lisp, found it hard to pay attention, and only wanted to learn things that he knew he could use. Like Leonard, my own grandfather was also packed off to an expensive, strict, and fashionable boarding school at the age of 7, where he developed a stutter. Over the 11 years my grandfather spent at boarding school, he sent his mother more than 390 letters. She never once replied to him in all his years of school. Again, Leonard's hatred for school grew to new heights. He recalled one of his classes saying, "Mr. Somerville was charged with the duty of teaching the stupidest boys the most disregarded thing, namely, how to write English." He knew how to do it. He taught it as no one else has ever taught it. Leonard Spencer had to repeat the English writing course 3 times before he passed. The underdog wasn't sufficiently accomplished to attend university, so instead set off to officer training at the Royal Military Academy, Sandhurst. Once more, he demonstrated a relentless passion as he took 3 attempts to pass the entrance exam. Leonard Spencer got knocked down. However, he got back up. He went on to be a soldier, a politician, a journalist, a war correspondent, an author, and an artist. At the age of 65, when most are thinking of retiring, Great Britain called upon him, the child ignored by his parents, who was terrible at school, who failed exams, who couldn't even get into military school until his third attempt, would lead the nation. And stepping onto the world stage, he found his finest hour. On May 10th, 1940, 9 months after World War II began, he was elected Prime Minister of Great Britain. You might have wondered why you haven't heard of this great man, but probably you have. Sir Winston Leonard Spencer Churchill spoke words that rang out with defining clarity. I have nothing to offer but blood, toil, tears, and sweat. You ask, what is our policy? I will say it is to wage war by land, sea, and air, with all our might and with all our strength that God can give us. You ask, what is our aim? I can answer you in one word: victory. Victory at all costs. Victory however long and hard the road may be. Victory in spite of terror. Victory is what we will achieve. Winston Churchill stepped up to his finest hour. He inspired confidence to everyone around him. When Belgium and Holland were lost, and German forces were deep in the heart of France, he told Parliament, we shall fight on the beaches, we shall fight on the landing grounds, we shall fight in the fields and in the streets, we shall fight in the hills. We shall never surrender. 2 weeks later, France surrendered to the Germans. England stood alone as the full might of the Nazis was unleashed. Again, Churchill would wield one of his greatest weapons, his language and oration abilities. As he said, if we fail, then the whole world, including the United States, shall sink into the abyss of a new dark age. Let us therefore so bear ourselves that if the British Empire and its Commonwealth shall last for 1,000 years, men will say this was their finest hour. This speech was so powerful that my grandmother can remember hearing it live on the radio as a child. Winston Churchill stepped up to his finest hour. The boy who had a stutter and a lisp now instilled confidence to those around him as he demonstrated a constant passion to inspire a nation to their finest hour. As bombs rained down night after night after night, my grandmother recalls dashing to air raid shelters underground. In the mornings, she would pick up pieces of shrapnel from the bombs. As a precaution, she attended school with a gas mask hanging around her neck. It would not be until May 7, 1945, the German forces finally surrendered. America played a crucial role as Churchill and Eisenhower worked together for victory. Sir Winston Churchill, neglected by his parents and a failure at school, had become one of the most influential people of the 20th century. As a young man, he developed a powerful determination to battle against the odds. He said when he was elected Prime Minister, I felt as if I were walking with destiny, and that my past life had been but a preparation for this hour and for this trial. Being a failure would have been easy, but he couldn't fail. In that moment in history, his country, the world, we needed him to get back up when he got knocked down. He never, never, never gave in. He is a fantastic inspiration to me, and I hope he is to you also. Years after the war, Sir Winston Leonard Spencer Churchill proclaimed, I have never accepted what so many people have kindly said, namely, that I inspired a nation. It was the race and the nation dwelling around the globe that had the lion's heart. I had the luck to be called upon to give it the roar.